Hi, Schleider here, and welcome to my channel, The Naked Booktuber. Okay, today I'm going to try to review The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. And let me cut to the chase before I say anything else. I didn't like this novel at all. And I didn't like it not just because I felt that such a huge chunk of it was badly written, but I didn't like it also because of what this novel represents in terms of our culture. This book, if you don't already know, won the Pulitzer Prize about 10 years ago. And to me, this book is, as Theodore Adorno once said, this book is simply, to me, not a work of literature. It is a work of fiction, but it's definitely not a work of literature. To me, this book is something which is extremely commercial and which is simply part of the culture industry. It was produced. It wasn't written to me. It was produced. I'll go into that a little bit later. Well, as far as the plot goes, I'm not going to belabor the plot because you can look. It's such a famous book by now, winning the Pulitzer Prize, that you can look it up on Google. It'll give you a much better plot than I can ever do. It's basically about this kid, Theo Decker is his name. And Theo Decker, when he's 13, goes to the museum with his mother, not his parents, with his mother. And they are going, and because his mother is crazy about art, they go to the Metropolitan Museum, and they are looking at some paintings, a special exhibition of old master Dutch paintings, including Rembrandt, and a painting called The Goldfinch by an artist named Karel Fabricius. And there's an explosion of some kind, a terrorist explosion, and his mother is killed. And the kid is left kind of destitute. He doesn't really have any. His father is, left him a while back, and he doesn't really have any family or relatives. And the story, to really make it simple, is really what happens to him in the aftermath of this tragedy in which his mother died. I mean, who he stays with, the adventures he has, the people he meets, and so on. And all interlaced, of course, with lots of, philosophical speculations, lots of talk about art and painting and antiques, because he becomes an antique dealer. All this stuff, it's kind of built in the same way. It's kind of reminiscent of Great Expectations by Dickens. I understand that Donna Tartt is a huge fan of Dickens, and it does resemble Great Expectations in a number of ways. A lot of the characters are very analogous to the characters in Great Expectations. I mean, Theo Decker would, of course, be Pip, and he's in love with a woman who he never quite pulls it off with. Her name is Pippa, and she would be Stella. And then you have this antique dealer who takes him in and trains him in the antique dealing business. He would be kind of a Joe Gargery, I guess, a very kind-hearted fellow. And then he's also taken in by his family, the Barbers, for a while. They're also kind of like Joe Gargery in a certain way. But anyway, so there was definitely, lots of similarities between them. That's pretty obvious. I mean, I think she said as much. I had high hopes for this novel. I read The Secret History, which I liked very much. It wasn't a great book. But I liked a lot of it. So I was hoping that this one would be at least as good or even better, and boy, was I ever wrong about that. The Secret History was 500 and something pages long. This book, The Goldfinch, is 771 pages long. I can't believe I read this thing. And of course, I had a special interest in reading this because I knew that it dealt with painting. There was, I know the Goldfinch, this famous painting, which the novel is named after. I know a lot of the references, the allusions she makes to old master paintings. So I have a special interest in this. But in spite of this, the novel just was terrible for a number of reasons that I hope I can enumerate. First, the good points. My review of this is kind of like my previous review of her novel, The Secret History, except that all of the all of the problems that I saw with The Secret History are magnified 100-fold in this novel. The good points first. Okay, Donna Tartt is a very good writer. She has a great verbal facility. She knows how to turn a phrase like nobody's business. I'm not going to deny that. She does have a rare gift, no question about it. Donna Tartt is able to bring characters to life. She has a multiplicity of characters in this novel, much like Great Expectations, and they all have depth to them, which is very hard to do. Of course, they're not just flat. I give her that as well. What else? Donna Tartt, there's the old thing you hear in English class or creative writing class. When you're writing a work of fiction, you want to give a lot of details. Well, Donna Tartt is all about the details. I mean, she researches everything in this book. She leaves nothing, no stone unturned. She's researched art. She's researched New York City. She's researched the Netherlands. She's researched Russian emigres, Russian Jews. Antiques. She seems to know a phenomenal amount about antiques. So she certainly loads this novel down with details. And this is the part about Donna Tartt's writing which is as much a fault as it is a virtue. The thing that really ruined this novel for me was that she uses details. She uses details. She muses about things, everything, in an extremely formulistic way. It's like Vladimir Nabokov said, a book is all about details, a work of fiction. Well, she took that to heart, boy. Everything is details. Too much so. So many details so that your mind becomes numb, becomes glazed, and it ruins the book. I said this in my previous podcast about The Secret History. When you are painting a picture, you can't put high chroma, intense colors in every square inch of the picture, because if you don't have any neutral colors to offset those high chroma colors with, the eye can't take it all in. All bright colors equals no bright colors. And she doesn't know this. All detail, wall-to-wall packed detail, indiscriminately, is the same as no detail. The mind glazes over. I mean, there's no need for this. It's completely superfluous. It's not necessary for the story. And she does this to such an extreme degree so that it literally ruins her novel. That's the first big gripe I have with this novel. She did it in The Secret History too, but not nearly to the same extent. What else does she do? She'll talk about the dreams that the main character is having. Do I really need to know about his dreams? Not really. And then she goes on talking about the details of the dream, which I don't really care about. I don't care if in the dream that the main character, Theo Decker, is having, that he's dreaming that it's a windy day, or whether it's a rainy day, or if it's a sunny day. I don't give a fuck. It's this kind of meaningless detail. It has nothing to do with the story. And yet Donna Tartt seems to think that she simply must have this in there. It's like a formula she seems to need to use all the time. It's very automatic. And this is not a good thing. She runs it into the ground and ruins it. Here's another major, huge thing. Well, a couple things. First of all, when I began reading the novel, I didn't feel this way. It was like I say, I was interested in the character for the first couple of 100 pages. Like I say, it was very well written in that respect. You got into the characters. They were believable characters. But after a while, it just sort of went on and on and on. It didn't really seem to have much of a point to it. Like Pip. Pip is not, going to be a mover and a shaker in Dickens' novel. And I didn't really care for that about Pip. Pip just wants to have the love of his life. Stella, he wants to have a good job and live a happy life. And this guy, Theo Decker, in this novel, is kind of an average person. He's a smart person, but he's a very troubled person. Some of it is because of the trauma he had with his mother, but a lot of it is just because he's kind of looks like an average person. He foments a lot of agitation in his life. He's a drug addict also. He totally is on drugs all the time, relying on drugs. There's nothing really interesting in this character for me. He's not going to be a future Beethoven, okay? He's not going to be a future Charles Dickens, this character. He kind of wears thin. I'm wondering, why am I spending so much time reading about a basically ordinary character? Donna Tartt is very good at talking about the zeitgeist, at talking about social commentary, all of the quirks. She talks about everything. I'm a native New Yorker. And she's from Mississippi. I guess she lived in New York for a number of years. But she seems to know the intimacies of New York, the locales of New York, a lot better than I do. She describes certain streets and certain restaurants. She knows about there's constant allusions to literature, to The Idiot, and to by Dostoevsky, and to all sorts of novels. And she's talking about a movie that he goes to, Glenn Gould. It's a documentary on Glenn Gould. She knows about that. It's really a book which kind of panders or caters to upper middle class white people who have gone to kind of a college like she did, Bennington, an Ivy League school. These are the people who would really appreciate her novels. She's kind of catering to a people who have money, who go to school and study, but who are basically very average and ordinary, and who end up being lawyers or maybe stockbrokers. That's basically the market that she's kind of like catering to in this novel. It's a very kind of almost an elitist novel. And believe me, I went to prep school when I was younger, and I went to, not an Ivy League school, but I went to a college in Boston, around Boston. This novel, I guess I would be part of her market audience, her target audience, So there's that also. Another thing about this novel which made me feel that it was phony and that it was formulistic and that it wasn't so much a work of... Donna Tartt talks about, she has long passages where she philosophizes. There's a long section in the book, several pages, where, the main character is talking about the meaninglessness of life, about how it just, we all end up dying in the end. What's the point of it all? And something, when she talks about this, it didn't move me and she writes about it very well, very skillfully. But I wasn't moved in the least by this. To me, this was like her obligatory passage which you're supposed to put in your book because that's what you need to have it be great literature. You know, if you want to write not just fiction but literature, you have to talk about life and death, the human condition. So she has an obligatory passage about that. And then she has her obligatory passages about art, about how great art is, you know. And much of her philosophizing about art is completely pedestrian. It's ordinary. It's completely open-ended. Again, I get the feeling she just did it because she wants to check off on her checklist. Okay, talked about art and talked about the ephemeral nature of life as part of her requirements for this being immortal literature. It was phony, and it was artificial, and it was canned, and it was manufactured, and that's why I say this novel is really a product of the culture industry and not so much a product of a solitary mind trying to really create great literature. She talks about in this novel another theme, all the themes you're supposed to talk about. She talks about, there's this running theme throughout the novel about how is life really just a series of coincidences? Maybe there's something more to it than just coincidence. Maybe the guy upstairs really has it all planned. Maybe things which seem bad really end up having favorable results. Maybe it needs to be bad, apparently, because in the end something good comes out of it, and vice versa. This is a theme which is echoed throughout the novel. Once again, this is extremely formulistic. It didn't move me at all. It didn't intrigue me. It didn't challenge me. I thought this was simply put in there to garner recognition as a work of literature. At the very end of the novel, Theo, the main character, is writing his thoughts down in a diary, and he's writing all of his... Donna touches on everything, She doesn't leave any... Her ego is so out of control in this novel. She's not able to edit herself. She knows everything. She knows about art. She's able to analyze the goldfish. She's such an exquisite sensibility. She analyzes the goldfish, and she analyzes through the mouthpiece of Theo's mother. She analyzes the anatomy lesson by Rembrandt. She analyzes, she knows about that. She talks about, through the character of the Theo Decker, she talks about there's life, and then there's, the truth of life, and then the illusion of life, and in between there's this middle ground, and that's the middle ground where somehow art comes into things. All of this drivel, She's not really saying anything here. It's so open-ended. Donna Tartt does not have a real vision of life in this novel. It's all kind of filler, saying the things that she's supposed to say. I don't know whether she's pandering to her audience because she had such a big hit with The Secret History, whether her publisher pressured her to include all this stuff, or whether she wasn't even aware of it. Maybe she thought she was writing great literature. But this stuff comes across as awful, as absolutely horrible drivel. All of this should have been edited out. Somebody should have tapped Donna Tartt on the shoulder and said, listen, Donna, Bubala, you got to take out about 200 pages of this constant philosophizing about drivel and all of this endless detail, which is totally superfluous. You don't need that. But nobody did that, apparently. And I can understand why nobody would do that. Donna Tartt is a moneymaker now. Donna Tartt started this whole trend of dark academia with her novel The Secret History, which was not a bad novel. And so she is the big moneymaker now, and they're going to let her go with it because they know that whatever she writes, Donna Tartt could write anything on a piece of toilet paper, and it would be published, and it would have become the Pulitzer Prize. It was already destined. The culture industry has decided that she is going to be the new darling. And so they were going to give her the Pulitzer Prize no matter what she wrote. And that's exactly what happened. That's why I say this novel is a product of the culture industry. It's simply commercial. It has no real literary value at all. It's completely pretentious. I think most people that I've listened to, as far as reviews go of this novel, don't realize that there is a larger issue than just how well Donna can write. It's about the milieu in which she's writing. You know what happened to Donna Tartt? The culture industry got to her. This is what happens when you become famous. Donna Tartt wrote a pretty good novel, The Secret History. It was an intriguing novel. It, like I say, it had many of the faults that this one has, but nowhere's as bad. This was the faults here were on steroids, but it didn't matter, because she became, after her secret history, something happened. She became sucked up by the culture industry. She wasn't strong enough to resist it, and she got sucked up in it. And this novel is a product of the culture industry. It's manufactured, canned profundity. That's all it is. And this is very sad that they got to it. This is why I realize fame is not a good thing in our culture, in our sick, culture industry-driven culture. Fame is the death of you. If you have anything good in you, fame is a curse, because you will be exploited. It's a very, very rare artist that is able to resist being wooed by the culture industry. It happens to you insidiously, and it happened to Donna Tartt as well. I see that in this. Donna Tartt basically is the golden girl now of the culture industry. She can write. The world is her oyster now. She has the world by a string. Donna Tartt has gotten the most that anyone can hope to get from our society. She has wealth now. She has celebrity now. She can write anything she wants to from this point on, and most definitely she'll have no problem publishing it at all, no matter what the quality of it is. Donna Tartt can give lectures at her alma mater or Harvard if she wants to, on writing, or on anything for that matter. Donna Tartt can become a guest teacher at one of these Ivy School colleges. The world is open to her now. She's reaped the most that she can from our sick culture. Donna Tartt has the world by a string now, and that string is choking her to death. Thank you.